Hey guys, what is going on? So I just wanted to address a question that I get very frequently, and that is, can I cut on turkesterone, or should I be in maintenance? Should I be in a surplus? Whether it's turkesterone, ecdysterone, whatever. I think we all know the answer to this question. Obviously, I made a video talking about my experience both on a bulk and on a cut. I had success in both. So obviously you can do all of these, right? But I think the question is, people are asking what I would recommend for them. And I'm pretty much always going to say, other than in a few circumstances, that it makes the most sense to be in a caloric surplus when you are on turkesterone or ecdysterone, right? So the reason for this is being in a caloric surplus is going to allow you to have the best opportunity to put on size and strength, right? You are going to be in the most anabolic environment possible when you are in a surplus. When you are in a deficit, you're basically limiting your potential. Now, you can still make gains in a deficit. It is still possible. But the way that I see it is, if you are on a valuable resource like turkesterone that's hard to get and by most people's standards is relatively expensive, why would you take that asset that you have that is, fairly limited in that regard? Why would you do anything that would, make that not optimal? You would want that experience to be as good as it possibly could. You'd want your training to be on point. You'd want your diet to be on point. It's like if somebody were to ask me, hey, can I get 4 hours of sleep on turkesterone and still make gains? It's like, yeah, I'm sure you could. I don't know if 4 hours is really enough for most people, but I'm sure there are people out there who can make gains on 4 hours of sleep. But why would you not try and optimize that? Why wouldn't you try and get your 8 hours or even more sleep? Or can I eat 100 grams of protein and still make gains? It's like, why wouldn't you try and eat 200 grams, right? Why wouldn't you try and max out everything that you could in this? I think most people are looking at roughly a 2-month, 3-month period on turkesterone. Why would you limit your potential gains on that just to maybe save yourself from building a little bit of fat? And I think people kind of don't really understand the level of surplus that is necessary to gain muscle. It's not as much as most people think, right? A lot of people say, oh, I'm on a bulk, I need to eat 4,000, 5,000 calories. And for somebody like me, I actually do legitimately need to eat that much because I'm pretty heavy, I'm extremely active, and I go to the gym a lot. And so that level of calories might actually be necessary for me to put on weight. But for the vast majority of people, that 4,000, 5,000 calories is such overkill that you're going to eat so much more food than is necessary, and you're going to put on more weight than you really need. Realistically, you only need like a 200, 300 calorie surplus to maximize, muscle building potential, strength building potential. And if you do that over the course of, let's say, 2 months, you might put on like 4 pounds of fat if you don't gain any muscle, right? Now, obviously, you're looking to gain muscle when you're on turkesterone, so you might only put on a pound or two of fat at most over that time period. You can knock that out in a mini cut really quickly, gain muscle, and optimize that experience. Now, if you were to try to do that on maintenance or on a cut, you might not actually see gains. You might be able to maintain your strength levels or go up a little bit, maybe put on a little bit of muscle, but realistically, the best opportunity you have is to have your diet in check, have your sleep regimen in check, have your training in check. And the best way to do all those things is to be in a slight surplus, in my opinion. So I would say try and maximize all vectors that you can. Use this valuable resource in, a way that's going to allow you to really get the most out of it. And if you want to cut some fat away, that makes sense. I understand it's summer. I know everybody wants to be cutting right now. Realistically, if you want to be shredded for the summer, you should start in the spring. You should start cutting then. You shouldn't start in late July, in my opinion, if that's kind of this mentality that you have that you want to be shredded for summer. Because realistically, you're not going to lose a lot of fat in the next month, and then summer's already going to be over. And then it's back to bulking season for a lot of people. I personally started my bulk early, but that's just personal preference. But at the end of the day, like I said, I just think you should try and optimize the situation that you have. And turkesterone, back when I had it, back when I was getting it, I was able to basically get every restock they had. It wasn't in as high of demand as it currently is. So for me to get 4 more bottles wasn't a big deal. Whereas now you basically have to be really lucky and be persistent to get turkesterone. So if it's that valuable of a resource, I would say, like I've been saying this whole time, maximize that opportunity and just be in a slight surplus. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, and you might not even put on fat if you are, a good responder, and you have, a minimal surplus that's going to allow you to get kind of the best of both worlds. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I will keep you updated. and I'll talk to you soon.